everybody. How you doing today? So here I am with my Crayola crayons again. Cause you know, we did it once and that's just not enough. But luckily now that I've had a little bit of experience using them, I feel more comfortable. Oh, and this is my Instagram, by the way. If you guys haven't checked me out over there, then check that out. So yeah, once I did one of the pages in Crayola Crayon, I thought, okay, I think I have got this figured out somewhat. So I'm pulling the green and the brown little trays or whatever you want to call them. And I'm putting the rest aside for now. And I'm just going to have some fun coloring in the background of this lovely little owl. This is from the book. Hold on. Wait for it. I need to get it out. Sorry, I should have gotten it out. This owl is from the book. That is said like this. It's by Tina Wallin. And this is a really, really cute little book. And I love it. I've been using it for demos because they have these really nice, you can see my hands are small. I have very small hands. And so this card is a nice size for demos. It doesn't take up much space, so we can really accomplish some things very quickly. All right, let me just sort of see if I can fix this a little bit for you. All right, I'm going to actually have these off camera. I'm sorry guys, but all right, so we have this little owl and I have a bunch of Crayola crayons, and I know that this, like, there are leaves here, right? So I figure it's woodsy, so let's grab, look, here's forest green. So I'm just gonna try a couple of colors. So I just go very lightly. Maybe I'll actually fold this out like this, so that way I'm not. So let's see here. You can see this a little bit better if I zoom in. Alright, so yeah, this is a nice little green. So I'm just going to, without making any kind of particular motion, I'm just sort of using the flat of the crayon and just sort of lightly with little pressure, just laying in some random patches of color. And this does not have to be perfect. You know, nobody is perfect. Nobody is, you know, not any one of us is going to sit down every day and produce a perfect piece of art or math or science or whatever else we do with ourselves. We're not going to produce perfection every day. There's just no way. We're human beings. We all make mistakes. We all go through our own personal struggles and journeys to get to where we need to go. So don't be hard on yourself. Just have some fun. You know, as long as you learn something along the way, that's the important part, right? So I'm just layering. I like this color, so I'm going to use it in a different spot now. So let's see, I have it up here, so maybe to balance it out, I'll put some, let's see, can you see this, guys? Yeah, you good. So then I'll put some maybe down here. And that's just to balance out, even out. And of course I'm drawing through the object, so there's a branch here. I want the background to feel like it's passing behind it, so I draw behind it. I continue the background color. I don't let it stop at that object. So that's the trick there to make things feel like they're behind other things, is just make sure that you draw through it if you get my drift. Not actually drawing through it, but like, you know, drawing through it. So I'm like doing the same directional stroke and the same, you know, general value. And then it feels like the one area just continues. Excuse me. So, now we're going to, pardon me, I took a sip of my water there. So now we're going to take this principle of just putting blobs of green color down, and we're going to apply it to the rest of this little guy. So it's going to be really easy. Guys, you can use any colors you have handy. You don't have to use crayon. You can use colored pencil or marker or whatever you have. Just go ahead. So I'm going to pick out, now that I've got this yellow-green color, I'm just going to go have some fun. Let's throw down some color and really make this. Can you see? Is this a good angle? Wait, let me check. There we go. So really the whole purpose is just to have fun, enjoying picking different colors, experimenting with how they mix when you layer different colors together. So I'll be doing that a little later as I build up my layers. So I'm doing a light color behind these leaves because I want them to stand out from the background. Doing either a lighter or a darker color from the object that you're coloring up against, if that makes sense. So like the owl is dark, so if I do light colors around the owl, then the owl will really pop from the background and really stand out, and this is contrast. And I will go over those types of principles of color theory in later series I plan on doing. But yeah, that doesn't mean we can't cover bits and bobs here and there right now. So there's another little blob of color. So I start out light with each color bit. So I'm gonna, there's a blob here, so maybe, let's see, it's a bright light color, so maybe I'll do a blob of color right up here with this. I'm still using yellow-green. And again, with very light pressure, with sort of the side of the crayon, just having a grand old time, laying it in real quick. Nice thing about crayon is it's super, super quick. Don't have to fuss. Makes you feel like a little kid. Alright, so now so it looks like I'm going in twos, which is just fine. So, let's pick another color. I'm going to pick this beautiful looking olive green color. Let's see how it comes out on the paper. I'm going to throw it right here for right now. Oh yeah, I like this color. Let's see, can you guys see? Yeah, okay. So again, just the purpose, I can go in different directional strokes. You can use circular strokes and make it really fuzzy if you want. You can, really there are no rules with this type of background. Really the only thing that I'm striving for is really just to set off the foreground and make the foreground look really, really nice. So the whole point of the background for this particular subject is just really just to feature the foreground. And some backgrounds are meant to give atmosphere or mood. There are different purposes for different backgrounds. So if you're struggling with what kind of background to pick for your drawing, I know that's a whole different type of subject which we can cover more in depth later. If that's something that interests you, please post that in the comments so I know, because that is sort of like a really tricky in-depth concept. how to actually pick a background. But yeah, if that kind of subject interests you, if that's something that you would watch, then go ahead, let me know. I can think about and plan another video in the future. So I've got a blob here. I'm going to put a blob here. And again, there's no real hard and fast rules. I'm just distributing my blobs of color around. And what I'm going to do, probably, you know, a couple blobs of each, and they can be varying shapes and sizes. And then I may come back and revisit all the colors again and overlap all the colors. Like I just overlapped one color here with another. That's because this is a fairly large blob of that other color. So it'll look nice when they're blended like so. So some gradients when you blend them can be soft and some can be quite quick. The brilliant thing about the crayon background is that because the crayon is very easy to cover and also very easy to remove, it is very forgiving. It's a very forgiving medium. So if you just bought yourself a bunch of Crayola crayons, I'm going to be doing some more tutorials in the future because it seems like a popular media. It's something that pretty much everybody has access to, and I think that they are just so much fun. They bring me right back to my childhood, and there's no reason why we can't color with crayons. Why not? Alright, so that color I really do love, so I'm actually going to set that color out and keep it aside. So you can see here I'm going to start a little collection of crayons here on my easel. I'm working upright again today, guys, on my good old trusty easel. It's just because it helps me with my neck. I had some neck pain for a little while there. It is starting to get much better now that I'm working upright, so I'm going to continue to do so. I am still figuring out and working out the camera situation. So here I'm swapping over to pine green. However, I am satisfied. I've been doing live streams all this week instead of recording the video and editing it. And the audio problems that I was experiencing before have all vanished. So I'm fairly certain that it has something to do with the editing process or my the computer that I'm editing on. But until I resolve that issue, I'm most likely going to primarily be using the live stream feature on YouTube to go ahead and give you guys these background tutorial videos. So here I'm going to zoom in just so that you guys get a really good close-up. Let's see here. Is that? Yep, that's good. So, so yeah, I'm working my hardest to try and get all of the technical problems worked out. But in the meantime, I think that for right now, these live streams are doing okay, and doing a fair job conveying the information that I'm trying to give you guys. So we'll just go this route for now, and I hope that's okay with you. Yeah, so, this... Sorry about that. Looks like even my live stream sometimes cuts out. Luckily I noticed, so we didn't miss anything. But anyway, I was just saying how we were having technical difficulties, and I just demonstrated that. However, I really do enjoy doing these videos for you guys, so I want to persevere even if sometimes it's not easy. You know, that's just like anything else in life. Nothing is ever perfect or easy, but the way that we get better is just by continuing on in the face of such difficulties. and persevering and not giving up. And that's true of art too. I mean, really, the only way that you can fail at art is if you just stop doing it. Then and even then it's not really a failure so much as just you just stopped progressing. But you can't, I don't really think that you can fail in art. I think it's just all a process. And some people learn really quickly. A friend of mine, Matt, on Instagram, is a perfect example of this. He is so fast learner. He just he picks things up very quickly and just astonishes everybody every time that he posts something. It's always new and different. So I like watching his work a lot. And if you are on Instagram and don't follow him, I'll post his profile link down in the description. And so he is one of those people that is really intimidating sometimes, though, because he learns so quickly and he learns much quicker than I ever did. And so, you know, you kind of like compare yourself. You think, wow, you know. But I'm sure that you guys have already seen my comparison rant video. So you know how I feel about comparing yourself. So yeah, everybody learns at their own pace. But I think that that's awesome, and actually one of the most brilliant things about art is, you know, maybe I wasn't the quickest learner when I was growing up and learning art, but now that gives me a lot of empathy and a lot of understanding for those who are having the same difficulty. And so when I go to teach, I really do have a sympathetic ear to those who struggle or who are having trouble with a certain thing or a certain subject, because I was that way myself. So I know that I feel your pain, you know. Alright, I think we need a nice bright green in here, so I'm going to switch to shamrock, which sounds awesome. Let's see how it looks on the paper. We're going to go up in the sky a little higher, so let's go. Can you see this? Here. Yep. Okay. So I'm just going to fill in this little corner here with a very light layer of this shamrock. And also go down below here, also filling with a very light layer. This crayon could go a lot darker, but I'm just giving a nice little quick base coat. And again, the whole point, okay, let's go in here. The whole point of these backgrounds is just to set off the foreground. So we're just letting this little aloe guy really sing on the page. So you can see how already it isn't even quite finished, but already these colors are starting to kind of mesh together. So what I'll do now, let's see here if I can get this. There we go. Is that better? So now I'm gonna just keep going. And now I'm just sort of picking all over just different spots on the page. It's very random. Just wherever I feel I want. I'm going to swap my color again. This is a really easy way to make a very fun, colorful background. What color do I feel like? Ooh, I love this color. I know this color from the other one. This is asparagus. I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to rotate the page just so it's easier for me to work on it. I'm down here at the bottom though. Another nice light layer of this asparagus color. So pretty. I'm just layering a little bit, having some fun. Again, there are no rules here, so you can just feel free to pick whatever greens in whatever order you so desire. Alright, I want a little, I don't know why, but I just feel like there should be a little glowy bit over here. So I'm going to swap back over to green-yellow. Again, rotate the page a little bit just so it's easier for me. Here, let's zoom in so you guys get a better view. So I'm going to layer some of this green-yellow. It already kind of has that glowy look and I'm digging it. Extend it down here. And also on this side. Love it. I'm also going to put some right around here. Kind of extend this through. Overlap those two colors a little. Ooh, can you see this? Sorry guys. So I'm overlapping these two colors. And extending this one out. I'm also going to, there's an area right over here, right here that has this yellow that I laid down earlier. I'm going to richen it up and blend it into this darker green that's below it. Just a little bit more. It's very hard to get precise strokes with the crayon. That's why I think it's great for these type of fuzzy backgrounds. So if you can't get in the crevices there, you can always go in later with colored pencil and try to just match a similar color. I think that is what I'm going to try and do. So this piece is truly mixed media. This little owl I created with many different media, including markers. I used Tombow markers, Staedtler fine liners. I used Sakura jelly roll pens. I used, what else? This little owl has a lot of different media on him. And then, of course, my Prismacolor colored pencils. And, yeah, I just had a grand old time throwing down the mixed media on there. Really fun. And my boyfriend got me the markers. So shout out to Mark again for hooking me up with art stuff. Let's see here. So I don't know, let me pull out a little just so that you can really see. So I have sort of like this yellowy kind of like swoop forming behind it. And it happened organically, but I'm going to now that I see it, I'm going to accentuate it and really cull it out and make it look intentional. So when you see something happening like that, well, here we go. When you see something happening like that, then just go ahead and make it look like it's intentional, and then all of a sudden, let's see, can you see? You can see. And it it just gives your work a nice intentional look. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in. I have some colors here that I've already picked out, so I'm gonna go back to olive green and put it right up here. Yeah, again, I'm just gonna leave those little details for colored pencil. And that's easy enough to do. Then you just swatch out the colored pencils to match. I have the large Prismacolor set, so that should not be difficult. If you do want to, you could sharpen these. That's also an option. Or you could just really take your time, like so, and really get in there. And I can do that. But if you don't feel like it, and you just want to get the background covered, you could also go in later with colored pencil. There are no rules here. You could do whatever you want. I'm actually planning on using a Uniball white paint pen around the outlines here, so that should be really pretty when I'm done. I'll show you guys the finished product when it's finished. I'm just showing you the background today. I did the little owl on my own because this is actually the first time I've done a little owl like this. So I didn't know how he would turn out. And guys, I'm not going to video every single thing I do, only because sometimes when you're in the creative process and you don't know how to do something, you kind of want to do it on your own just to have fun and relax and see how it all works. So I'm switching over to Shamrock. And then once I figure things out, then I feel comfortable teaching them. You know, there's like a certain level of confidence I like to have before I start telling you what to do. And really, I'm never ever telling you what to do. I'm only giving you suggestions and ideas. Everything else is just whatever you feel like. And that's, I think, how art should be. I can only guide. I can only show you my way. And the rest is up to you guys to figure out. So I'm just going through and softening some of the transitions with this shamrock color in between the darker greens and that yellowy green. I'm just picking this nice mid-tone green, also richening up this dark green down here with this shamrock color. It's so pretty. Like so. And now this area right here really does not have any crayon at all, and that's a big no-no for me. I like to have at least some crayon on the page, even if it's just a little bit. I like this color and I haven't used it yet. I don't know what it is. It is a gel FX thing, but whatever. I like the color. So I'm going to go in and just gently layer. So I layered over what was already there because I don't know what color that was, but just to tie the two areas together. And now I'm just going in with this crayon and filling anywhere where there was white, because I like this area to be light, so I like this light color. And I'm putting very light pressure, so I'm not even getting the richest color out of it that I could. But yeah, just by giving it this nice light color, just sort of letting the little owl figure really pop. And this is one of my favorite colors, so of course if I can work it in, I will. I think it's rather pretty here. So let's see. Yep, you can see. And now again, to just sort of continue on the trend, I'm going to bring that same color, even though I'm layering it with a different color. It's darker over this end because it's kind of lower on the page, so it's almost like it's a darker, more shadowy version of the same color. So I'm going to go ahead and just layer it on top. And this is the fun part about this type of background for me, is now that the base coats are all in place and covered and you kind of know where the lights and darks are. Now you can just really have fun playing with it. Do you want it to be bluer? Then add a layer of blue. If you want it to be more yellow, then add a layer of yellow. If you want it to be more, you know, asparagus, then put some asparagus down. You know, you can really kind of go to town and take it and make it whatever you want. And that is the beauty of this type of background, is there's really no rules as to what color anything has to be. So now I have here, I'll take it out a little so you can see the general. So I have like very light area here. Then I have like this yellowy background kind of thing, and then I have like a more medium tone. So now I'm gonna follow the gradient through and take it and make this area kind of like a mottled dark and light area, just to kind of tie it all together and bring it home. Give it some contrast. This area of the page is the least important as far as the foreground subject is concerned, so I feel like I can deal with less contrast down here and thus bring the focus right up to the eyes, which are the most important. So when you're thinking about your background, you can also think about the entire composition. Also using this pine green to soften some transitions in some spots with just light pressure. Just going over the two areas until it meshes into one color. And this just takes patience and time. So I'm not going to rush and hurry and finish this. I want to do a nice little job. And I'm going to post this later on my Instagram, and I'll do a quick little vlog for you guys so that you can see the finished little owl doodle. So yeah, I just get rid of that little blob of, if you have a blob of wax, you can get rid of it with your fingernail, which is a fun little tip that I figured out. So it's almost like an eraser, which is really fun. And I will explore and experiment further with that, and then I'll do a demo or a quick tip about that. Yeah, anyway, so obviously I would take this a lot further and really bring it to like a nice, rich, deep finish. But I think you can get how to get started doing this kind of blobby, soft gradient type of foresty background. I'm going to be doing other backgrounds just like this, just to show you different variations on this technique. So if this video is interesting to you and you want to see more, then don't forget to subscribe, and also like this video so other people can see it too. And as always, I hope that you have a wonderful, magical time coloring. Thank you. Bye.